Welcome to my office. Here's where I live. If I'm not outside training, if I'm not out on the bike, I'm in here. Everything's organised. Here's my workstation. Here's all my books. I had to put another shelf in because I'm reading 2 to 3 books a month now. And I buy my books. I've actually gone to the library last month and I got these new books here. 80-20 rule. The Art of Quiet Influence. But these are also 2 other books I'm reading this month again. So this is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This one book's made more millionaires and more billionaires than any other book in history. And any motivational book that's come after, this was the basis. And here's the next biggest book that's changed history, Psycho-Cybernetics. This book explains how this book works. But then there's all my Nat and Physiology books, psychology, Jeff Thompson books. I've got a lot of Jeff books because he comes from Coventry and his was the first books I read to learn to read with Fear, An Elephant and a Twig, and then all this series. Yeah, so books. Now, these are my notepads. So as I read, I take notes. Yeah, and they're all full. So this is what I mean about my homework. I know what I've done. I know what I've studied. And they're my notes alone. This is the one that I'm going through at the moment. So I get to one side. When I get to front to back, I turn around and I come back the other way. And then this one here. So I'm restudying neuro-linguistic programming. And this book here, this is just the notes that are on that book. So I do study the books that I read. And when you write at the same time, your brain remembers it, you take it in and you have a good understanding of it. This is some of the paperwork that I'm doing at the moment, the projects that I'm doing. I can't really show you it because of NDAs, but this documentation here is everything that I'm doing. That's like my briefs and my reports. A lot of legal stuff because I'm dealing with media and that lot as a potential high value. That's why we have NDAs in place, and then there's briefs and structures, stuff for reviews and everything. Yeah, so this is what it's at. These are my 2 main laptops working. I've got another room where there's some other PCs and that lot. This is my main studio, my workstation and my control services. So I'm able to interact with my AI agents that are doing tasks, and I'm able to control everything from here so I can be focused and efficient. These are my notes. Yeah. So as I get my ideas and I put them into the programs, I note them down and I can tick them off. I've actually got a full set of kettlebells here from 8 up to 40 kg. So I've got an 8, 16, a 20, a 24, a 28, a 32 and a 40 all down here. So while things are rendering out or whatever, or agents are doing their thing, I just swing the bells here. I've actually got some bands here, so I can do band work, squat work, and I've also got another set of bands there so I can do rear delts and rhomboids and things like that. Obviously I've got my charts here, and then you see here on my wall, and here's a full size of the human body, front and back, and this is physiotherapist side, so this has got everything that's in there, so So it is set up like a clinic. Like I say, all the books are all just like look, human physiology. Consensus book of trigger points. That's what they all are. Anatomical yoga. Knowledge. Homework, proof, evidence. My hard drives ain't out at the moment, but I've got 56 terabytes of my old footage of me teaching from when I was in the garage, from when I was in Portugal teaching for 12 years and running my training camps and that. Yeah, I'm running this live just to prove, to prove, to show you this is my work environment. Normally when you see me, I'm all scruffed up and roughed up, like, because I'm out there training. You know, I spent 27 years teaching, and then 11 years ago, I started to get into the media. And that was for a different reason. And then 9 years ago, I got into DaVinci Resolve. And that's what I'm running here. DaVinci Resolve Studio. There's no difference between that software and exactly the same as what you use in Hollywood. So I can walk into any Hollywood studio, editing suite, and be fully adapt to working on a control surface. You know, that's what it's all about. Obviously, it's a lot easier now with AI. You can generate a lot more assets, digital assets, without having to go out and use film crews and everything. And as I said before, I don't know if I said on the last video, but I came back. I waited 7 years to buy all my camera equipment. And when I came back to England, I bought my 6K camera. I bought the Lumix S5 2X when it first came out, and new microphones and Nisky ND filters and everything, DJI mics, the whole lot. And this house got broken into, and they took it. It's one of the only few things they took. They took them. They took some of my old man's stuff and some of my mum's stuff, but they took all my camera gear and that. And it took 9 months for the insurance to pay up, which really sort of knocked me back. It took the wind out of my sails, to be honest. But what I did is I decided, right, after obviously I got rid of all the anger and everything like that, I did spend quite a few weeks seriously training and bashing, you know. Yeah. I decided, what can I do? I can focus on moving forward and what I can do here. And that's what took me down the path of where I am now. So the fact that all my camera gear got stolen meant I went down a different path. And now I'm using a lot of AI to generate my assets instead of me having to film it. But also that's took me down a different path of being able to generate digital trailers for projects as previses, so that you can take those previses and those projects, those trailers, digital trailers, towards production companies and say, this is what the idea is, and this is how we do this. And from that, they can then go to the finance officers and decide whether they want to put a budget forward and move forward with the program and with a project or whatever, instead of going out and physically getting actors, getting locations, getting sets made up, shooting, and then obviously sending it to through an edit suite, edit, color grade, and do some basic sound design and stuff like that. Now I can do all that. Once I've got my brief, I can do all that myself and develop all those digital assets, put it all together, package it, run it through the full flow, and then ship it out, deliver it. And that's what I do. That's what I can do, like, yeah. But I got down this path because I wanted to be able to promote myself as a performance coach. So because I didn't have the resources and the money back then, yeah, and I had no one to help me, I thought, right, I better just learn to do it now myself. learn to do it. And that's what I did. I learned to do it myself. When I was in Portugal, I used to take 5 phones out with me every morning, go up onto the rocks and up onto the dojo where I used to train. And I used to set up all 5 phones and do what I was doing, do what I was teaching, and film it from 5 different angles. And then go back, cut it together, edit it together, and learn how to do multicam shots and all that lot, yeah? Just using old phones. And that's why I've got 56 terabytes of footage. Because there's no difference from setting that up, right, to how it is to set up, you know, any cameras, whether it's Canons, whether it's Sony's, or even if you go to Area Alexas and, the bigger cinema cameras, it's the same principles, it's just the camera's a lot more expensive. You know, you've got visual and audio and lighting, and being able to shape lighting and understand how that works. It's no different, you know. That's now you've got the phones. The phones are so good now that, like, for most things you can get away with the phone, but also they do have limitations. They do have limitations when you go up to a certain price bracket within projects. You know, you can get away with doing a certain amount of stuff on your phone for certain projects, but for bigger projects, if it's for like Netflix or anything like that, yeah, it's got to be shot on certain cameras. And for also other production companies to be able to take them to a finance office and get funding, right? They've got to be shot on proper gear. You can't get away with doing it on your phones, you know. For us here doing this, and for a lot of stuff, phones are fine. But to go up to a certain level where there's a certain revenue bracket with it, it needs to be shot on equipment, because the image has to be right, so it can be pushed and pulled through an editing process and through a color grading process and whatever. It has to be manipulated, and the data has to be there. And that's the whole point of having a decent quality camera that's got the depth, you know, whether it's 10, 12, 14 or 16-bit depth. Yeah, you need that camera to be able to produce that image so it can be pushed and pulled. So depending on what the brief is or what the director said or what the creative look is, it can be pushed and pulled in like that. And even like a lot of professional like YouTubers and whatever, or even things, the footage is made to look like now, it's made to look like it's on a phone, but it weren't shot on a phone. But it's made to look like it's shot on the phone. And when you know the difference, you can tell the difference. The same like when I look on adverts and things like that, yeah, I can see straight away whether it's real or whether it's not, what process it's been through. So yeah, that's what I do. So I'm not just that crazy guy. I mean, I haven't even really shown you any of my stuff training recently. For a long time I haven't really done any proper training stuff out there, because I've just been training myself, focusing on myself, because like I say, I'm 53 in a few weeks time, right? And I get back in shape, and because I'm doing so much of this stuff, and because I'm working on projects, real like in-depth projects, like, yeah, when I go out and train, I just want to go out and train. I want to just be able to get stuck into the training and let my mind be free. Because when I'm in here, or 99% of my time, I'm thinking about what I'm doing on here. So if I'm not doing it on here, I'm still thinking about what I'm doing on here when I'm out there. So those moments of time where I can get stuck into training or be blasting out on the bike, and I can get that freedom within my mind to let myself just relax and let go. I need that sort of space, that mental space, because when I'm focused, and I'm so driven. And that's why I've been able to push through for all these years, for all these decades, without giving up, through all the hardships, through all the challenges. Yeah, I still keep that fire within me, and I still keep pushing forward, and I still keep moving forward. Yeah, and I don't lose focus or direction. And that's what I teach as a performance coach. I'm a human performance coach, whether it's in athletic sports or business development, yeah, personal development, in all aspects. Yeah, I'm a performance coach. And the point is, if you go and listen to my testimonials that are on YouTube, they will tell you I drag people across the line. I push and pull you across the line. There ain't no kiss ass with me. There ain't no kiss ass with me. I'm not a yes man. Yeah, and I'm not paid to be a yes man when I'm in this role. I'm paid to make sure what you want to do, I get you to achieve it, because I don't let you go and hide in the shadows. Yeah, because only you can save you. And there ain't many people like me around who just, yeah, come on, get on it. Yeah. But that's what I do. This is who I am. This is where I live. And this is my work. Yeah. This is why I say I'm a writer. I'm a creative. I'm a developer. I'm a designer. Yeah. Because when you have dreams, when you have a mission, and when you have passion, when you have an idea, right at the very beginning start, when you have that idea, you should be able to see the finished product at the same time. And if you can't see it in your mind, you'll never make it into reality. If you tell yourself that you can't this or you can't do that, or people won't buy this off you, or people won't buy that off you, they won't, because you don't believe it. And when you come to sell it and you don't believe it, they can see that you don't believe it. But if you go into the school of hard knocks, go and listen to them going all around the world interviewing all these millionaires and billionaires, and 99.9% of them tell you they were broke, they were skint, they were down and out, they were homeless, they were drug addicts, they were sleeping on people's sofas, they were in prison, you know. They all tell you the same, and they got up and they turned around and they changed their lives, and now they're millionaires and billionaires, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, they do the work, and you have to do the work, and then at some point, they call it luck, opportunity comes. And I always explain it's a bus. The bus of opportunity comes along, and when it comes past your stop, you have to have done your work, you have to be able to prove your homework, and it's that homework that you've done that you can prove, yeah. That's what pays for the ticket for you to get on the bus of opportunity. And that's called luck. Luck. Yeah. Well, there is always that element of luck, but it's spelt opportunity. When you've done the work and you know what you can do, and you don't BS yourself and you don't BS others, yeah, you can get on that bus and you have what it takes to pay for the ticket. And then the work starts again, because it never gets no easier. When you're green, you're growing, and when you're ripe, you're rotting. So as long as you're always moving forward and pushing forward, it's always going to feel hard. It's always going to feel hard. You're always going to be on the edge of your comfort zone if you're pushing forward. Anyway, it's Saturday. Have a good day for me. I'm going to get back to work. I'll catch you on the other side. Yes.